Hello, and welcome to Secrets from Athletes, where we dive into what makes a top athlete and how you can apply their routines and mindsets to your own life. I'm your host, Andre Schall, and today my guest is a close friend of mine, a former teammate of mine, and a current Division One rower at Salle University, Anders Carlson. How are you doing today, man?
Pretty good. I had a bike session this morning, so I was on the bike for like
Okay.
90 minutes, just getting in some cardio, some zone two cardio, and then I got a gym session later today. So
Nice, nice.
I'm
For my
excited.
viewers, zone two, that's basically lower intensity rowing or cardio. It works on helping your cardio base for faster, more intense pieces. All right, so just getting into the questions. Real quick, how
Mhm.
did you get into rowing and what made you stick with it?
Um, so my sister is 4 years older than me, and so she basically went through all of high school before I even started high school, and she rowed in high school, and then she ended up rowing at Temple. They have a D1 Division One team. And so by the time that I had gotten to high school, I kind of knew what rowing was. Like I knew generally about the sport. I remember watching some of the Tokyo Olympics, but I wasn't like really into it. I didn't know any of the athletes. I didn't know like what it was about. But it was kind of an expectation for me to at least try it because she did it. So I was a swimmer beforehand. I swam from the ages of like 9 years old to 14 when I stopped and switched to crew. So yeah, I started my freshman year of high school with not that much background, and then it was just getting on the water and being with my friends was like the initial attractor to it, and just like getting to know all these people and getting a friend group, and then kind of like the competitive aspect, because I've always been a really competitive person. Like how competitive it is and how uh, like open it is to starting later in life, because as a swimmer, like I was really competitive at that. Um, and I was trying to get to like the the national level and then like the worldwide level, but most swimmers start when they're like 3 or 4 years old. So I had like a 5 year gap of like I wasn't training for that, and so they had some years up on me, and that made it really difficult. And then also swimming is so heavily genetics based. Um, and I was kind of lucky that I have like larger than usual lungs. Um, but at the same time, there are guys that are like taller and bigger and just naturally better at it. And so rowing being so based on how much work you put in, um, and the teamwork aspect, was just like really enticing. And then I ended up doing it more and more and taking it more seriously and more seriously, and then eventually we get to the point where I got recruited to row Division One.
Yeah, so you've been doing stuff with water your whole life, based, or since swimming, rowing, all
Yeah,
that.
I mean I've been in or on the water for a long time.
Yeah. So was there a specific point where you're like, I want to do this Division One, or did it kind of just happen naturally?
Yeah, I think there was a point. When I was a sophomore in high school, like the end of that year, I had been taking it pretty seriously. Like I had been rowing, like, doing erg pieces in the morning, and like lifting outside and just trying to get generally better. But I knew a guy who was 2 years older than me who's currently at the Naval Academy, and he was like, "Hey, look, if this is something that you want to do, you should commit to it now. If that's even like an inkling in your mind, you should commit to it now, like your sophomore year." And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go and I'll see what I can do. And then I remember, was it yeah, that summer I got accepted into a exclusive-ish boat club, Potomac Boat Club in my area, and meeting all those people that like took it really seriously, and they knew they wanted to go Division One, and they knew they wanted to pursue it heavily in all these things. And then I ended up going to nationals that summer in the quad, and we ended up getting second in nationals, um, and at club nationals, and so like at that summer was kind of the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm committing to this. Like I'm gonna put all my eggs in this basket and see what I can do.
Hey, well, it certainly turned out.
Yeah, it was great. It's great.
So, what's the best piece of advice you've gotten from someone in your sport? This can be in rowing or even in swimming before.
Um, I remember I heard this when I was a freshman, and I don't remember who I heard it from, but I remember I heard it, and then I remember hearing it again a bunch and I eventually found out that it came from a really famous rowing coach named Mike Tatey. Um, and he said, sometimes you're the bug and sometimes you're the windshield. And so that's kind of, it's like silly, but I have like at that point I had like some really good performances and some really not good performances. And so, it kind of ebbs and flows. Even if I wake up and I feel great and I'm like, oh, I'm so ready to do this, I can hop on the erg and I start going and it just doesn't happen. And other days I can be sick and tired and I don't want to do it and I hop on the erg and the splits just happen. Um, and so some days I'm the bug and some days I'm the windshield. And so, that doesn't stop me from trying to like analyze the data and see what's making me perform well, like when I'm performing well and when I'm not performing well. But at the same time, if I have a bad session, just get up, move on, and I try to bring that to other aspects of my life. Like if I do bad on a test, I'll retake it. Or, if I can't, there's nothing I can do about it. So why would I be stressing about something that already happened that I can't change? Why would I focus on a factor I can't control and let's just move on, basically.
That's honestly an incredible, like, kind of piece of advice. That's kind of like that trust in the process. Whatever
Yeah,
happens, happens. Just keep moving forward. And
yeah,
for the
absolutely.
viewers, an erg, that's what it's short for ergometer. Basically, it's the rowing machine.
Mm,
Rowers sometimes hate it, sometimes love it. There's not really an in between. And then splits, that's basically your test of how fast, how strong you are on the rowing machine. On the topic of advice, now looking back at you're going to be a Division One athlete and everything you've gone through, what's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
yeah. I honestly would just say, just go all in. Like when I started, and even up to like my sophomore year, I was kind of like it was something I knew I really wanted to do, but for some reason I was like, oh man, but like what if I spend all this time and then I get burnt out and then I end up not wanting to do it? If it's something I really want to do at that time, do it, and do it to the absolute best ability that I can. And if I end up getting burnt out and I quit and I'm done and I never touch a boat ever again, then at least I did the best that I could with the time that I had. And if I do it all the way and I never get burnt out and I can keep going, then when I eventually do, like retire or come to an end, I can be happy with the performance that I had because I know I gave it everything. And so that's not me saying that like burnout isn't real, because like I've totally had times where I just feel horrible and I'm sluggish and I want to quit. Um, but I always find myself returning to it. I'm always coming back. So I would just say, if it's something you want to do, just full bore everything, and just do it.
That's kind of like that true, it's a lifelong passion for you. That
Yeah,
reminds me, there's this quote. I don't remember exactly who said it, but it's when you're on your deathbed, how many ghosts of things you wish you tried do you want to have around you? And that's
yeah,
just that same thing, just going all in,
I
not
love
having
that.
that ghost there.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So aside from the lesson of you're either the bug, you're either the windshield, is there another lesson or skill from your sport that you find that is extremely successfully applied outside of it?
I think um like consistency is something. I mean, basically all I do with my life is row and school, and I do rowing and then I do school, and then I do rowing and I do school. And but as far as like school, I always kind of had trouble like sitting down every single night and doing homework. Like occasionally, once a week or twice a week, I would sit down and I would have like 2 hours where I would just be super laser focused and I knew everything. but then the like 24 hours later, I'd be sitting in the same place, and I just could not do my homework. And so just being able to, like, no matter the energy level, bringing that like level of consistency where it's like I know I need to do this every day. I know I need to do this every day. Even if I can only study for 20 or 30 minutes before I'm like, oh my God, I'm just done. That's 20 or 30 minutes more that I'm doing now than I would have done if I hadn't kind of learned that lesson, you know? So just doing something is better than doing nothing, and doing it all the time.
Yeah, I feel that, especially from rowing, that's applied since
Yeah.
what we do is we literally do the same motion over and over and
Yeah.
over again.
Just,
And it's that
yeah.
consistency at perfecting it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned burnout. Have you ever faced other self-doubts? How did you overcome it, and what did you learn from it?
Yeah. I mean, I think I face self-doubt probably maybe not every day, but like every hard erg, every race where or hard like piece, um, where like I get to a certain point, w- you know, a quarter or two quarters into the race, and I'm just like, I can't do this. I can't keep going. There's no way I can like maintain this. And um so I see that, and I recognize that that's happening, and I'm like, okay, well, I can at least do 10 more strokes, or I can at least keep going for 20 more seconds or 30 more seconds. So I'm just going to do that. That's all I need. I just need to do this next little bit, and then I can quit, and then I'm done. And then I get there, and I'm like, okay, well, I think I could still do 30 more seconds. And so, um, like in the smaller increments, I just need to, like in one race, I just need to break it down and get through the each little piece. But then, like, overall, I've had points where I've had like a bad week or two bad weeks where like school isn't going well, and I had some bad tests, and I'm really stressed, and like my ergs are not going well, or I have some relationship troubles. Um, and then I'm getting to the point where like I'm getting that overall burnout and that overall self-doubt. Like, can I do this? Am I the right person to be able to do this? And I think when that happens, I'll just choose one thing that I need to step back from. Like, if I need to step back from school for a week, and I'm not saying not go to school, but that week when I'm not in school, I'm not doing school. I don't think about it. I don't do my homework. Um, or it could be rowing, where like that week, I might still hop on the erg, but I'm not going to do 90, like 60 or 90-minute sessions. I'll do a 30-minute session or a 60-minute session, and I won't do anything ridiculously hard. Or, my relationship, with friends, if I need to stay in that night and not go out, that's kind of how I've dealt with like overall burnout, large amounts of like little things that built up to like high amounts of stress. Um, so yeah, that for the two, to me, the kind of two aspects of self-doubt and burnout on the smaller scale and the bigger scale. That's what I've faced all the time, and how I deal with it.
That part with a bigger scale, I'm going to steal that from you now because I felt that kind of burnout on the
Yeah.
bigger scale, except I've never really known how to approach it. But
Hmm.
taking it just one piece at a time, that's really
Yeah.
smart. That's honestly really, really, really cool.
Thank you.
So along with that, I know there's burnout, self-doubt, this all happens, and you have your different ways to push through it. Do you have
Hmm.
any other tips for staying motivated when going through these things? And have you seen that in other areas of your life?
Yeah. Um, honestly, for me, like, and I don't know if this works for everyone, but I struggle a lot, like especially in my junior year in high school. I struggled a lot with like being able to do it every day, like consistently doing it, um, and being motivated to like, sorry, that's disgusting. I had to crack my
No
neck.
worries, no worries.
To like I would show up to practice every day, but I might not have given my all every day. And I heard this quote from, I think it was Kara Kohler, and she was the U.S. women's single sculler for a really long time. I think her first Olympics was like '08 or '12, and then she was at the last games in Paris, and I believe she's retired now. But she's been doing it for a really long time, so obviously she knows something about consistency. And she said it's better to do 100% of the days at 90% of the effort than 90% of the days at 100% of the effort. So I would rather take a step back and um, and just kind of phone it in that day, but finish the session. But you have to do it. And then you do that long enough, and I get to the point where I've been doing sessions for 2 months, only taking one day off a week or one day off every 2 weeks. And then when I get to the point where I get a really hard session and I'm in the middle of it and I'm like, I want to quit, I want to stop. I'm like, well, I've already done 2 months worth of consistent work. I can't, if I stop now, that ends, right? Like if I quit in the middle of the session, I am no longer I that streak ends. So, okay, let me just get through this one piece and I'll get through this one day and then we'll think about it a day off tomorrow. And then I get 3 months in and 4 months in and now I'm like 7 months in, 8 months in, where I'm just like, there's no way that I'm gonna take time off or like quit a piece now because um, I've spent so long doing it. And obviously, injury, sickness is one thing. I got sick in December and I took like 2 whole weeks off where I didn't run, I didn't bike, I didn't erg, I didn't go on the um, and I'm kind of I've got a little back tweak right now, so I'm just on the bike. But when I'm able, that months and months of consistency just makes it so difficult to stop because I've been doing it for so long. And even if I have to phone it in for a session, it's better that I finish the session and just get through that day.
It's kind of like making it that it's just a habit, that it's second nature for you.
Yeah,
And like even when you can't full, like you're saying, do it at 100%, doing that whatever percent you can. Even if
yeah,
that's like 10%, giving it the whole 100% of that 10%.
yeah,
One thing like I kind of do off of that when it's those long set, like a bunch of big blocks of doing something, and it's like this is getting hard. What if I stop now? I kind of remember,
mm,
why did I start? Like why was the original goal belief into doing
yeah,
this?
yeah,
And
totally.
that kind of
I
gives
I
the
really
like
like
last
that.
push.
Yeah, that's great.
I even made that my wallpaper for my phone just to remember
That's
why you started.
yeah, yeah.
All right, now enough about the present. Looking towards the future. What are your future plans for the sport?
Um, I mean, I try to have the goals be pretty small, right? So like my goal, my sister's about to come home. My goal before was like, you know, I just want to PR on my 2K. And then the goal was like, okay, I want to get recruited. And then the goal was, and then, I want to be able to hit standard. And now the goal is like, okay, when I go to LaSalle, where I'm going to school, I want to be able to, you know, hit our erg standard, which I don't think I'm allowed to disclose, but the the erg standard, I want to just be able to hit that and then allow myself to get in the water. And then once I'm on the water, I want to get into the best boat I can, whether that's the 3V or the 2V or the 1V or whatever. I just want to get there. And then and then, my sophomore year, I want to be in a better boat. And then my junior year, if I'm in the best boat I can, I want to be in the best seat I can. And then I want to be, and and then it kind of just comes down to I want to be the best that I can be. And then, after college, we'll see if I'm like I want to be on the national team or I want to be an Olympian. I want to be an Olympic champion. It just kind of snowballs. Once I've done one goal, I move on to the next and the next and the next and the next, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I think for now, the goal is just hit standard, basically.
Hmm. So in a couple Olympics, I'll see you there. I'll see you with the gold medal and
Hopefully,
the medal dock.
we'll see.
But yeah, so that's kind of just like those small goals, building that kind of like staircase to the bigger dream and goal, correct?
Yeah, basically.
And for you were saying like 4V, 3V, 2V, and 1V. So
Mhm.
that's basically
Oh
the
yeah.
classes of boats with the lower number being like the better boat, correct?
Yeah, so like yeah, the 1V is like the top boat. It's like being on the it's like being a starting varsity in like football or
Hmm.
soccer or whatever.
All right. So what's the funniest story you've heard or done yourself in the sport?
I once knew a guy who drank a bunch of water like every single practice and consistently needed to go to the bathroom when he was on the water. And there were quite a few times where he would relieve himself off of the boat.
Hey, it's
So,
a team sport. You got to do
yeah,
what you got to do.
I mean, you know what? Yeah. Never
If that
learned
means,
either. That
yeah.
happened all the time.
Hey, he was hydrated though.
He was very
You can't say
hydrated.
anything about that. All right, now a special little thing I want to do each episode. I have these 10 blitz questions. Basically, it's just going to be a one-word answer, first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay,
So,
I'll do my
t-
best. I'm a
all right,
yapper.
yeah.
So,
So, first one, morning or night?
morning.
Morning, okay. I'd go the opposite. I like to stay up
I
late, wake
can't,
up late.
man. I can't.
But being a rower, you kind of have to
Yeah.
get used to those early mornings, 5 a.m. practices. Favorite cheat meal?
Oreos.
Oreos? Double stuffed, any specific type, or?
Oh yeah, double stuffed. That's what's up.
All right. Favorite day of the week?
Oh, Friday.
Friday? Any specific reason?
It's the last day of school.
Last day? That's valid. All right. Favorite movie?
Goodwill Hunting.
Good Will Hunting? Great movie. I love that one.
That's great. Love Matt Damon.
Best vacation spot?
Ooh. Best place I've been, Ireland.
Ireland? Okay. Any specific spot in Ireland?
Skibbereen. That was a good one.
Skibbereen.
Yeah.
All right. Super speed or mind reading?
I'm gonna say mind reading. I think super speed's cooler, but I think mind reading would be more useful.
Hmm.
Like getting, I just mind read
Yeah.
my professor, get all the perfect answers on the test.
Yeah. And with super speed, if you're in a boat with a bunch of people, the other.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to use
Yeah.
it. I would only be able to roll the
No.
single, dude.
Yeah. All right. Favorite animal?
Ooh. It's coming to mind right now is a whale.
Whale. Interesting. To each their own. To each their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Favorite color?
Yellow.
Yellow. Okay. Hey, our school, blue and yellow. So you
Yeah,
got
I'm
it,
not even. I'm
Carter.
not. I don't. I'm not wearing it. There's no yellow around me. I guess. But whatever.
If you say it's your favorite color, it's your favorite color.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, this is a more sports specific one. So basically, in rowing, there's two types of rowing. There's sweep, which is one oar that's done with multiple people in the boat, and then there's sculling, which each person has two oars. You can be in a boat by yourself or with up to 7 other people. So, which one do you prefer, sculling or sweep?
Sweep all day. I can't stand sculling. Like I know I medaled at nationals in the quad, but I can't stand sculling.
And a quad is basically a boat of 4 people, each with two oars. And now the final one, your favorite boat class.
The pair
The pair,
easily.
especially the one you ran into that cone on the water.
Okay, we don't need to talk about that.
All right. But basically, the pair it's a sweep boat, so each person has one oar, and you have just 2 people in it. Hence, a pair of oars, and it's typically seen as the hardest type of boat to learn and row. But once you master it, you can get fast.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Like Anders here, I could say he's done pretty well in a pair, and he's doing well right now. Division 1 rower.
Woo.
All right. Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much,
You sick?
Anders. And I wish you luck in Division 1 and onwards on that Olympic dock in a few years. And then thank you all for tuning in to Secrets from Athletes. Make sure to follow the Instagram at secrets_from_athletes. We'll be back with more secrets from athletes to help you refine your mindset and routines next week.